Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another AMA session with Dr. Ben Benham. I'm Dr. Ben Benham, board certified dermatologist and one of the founders of Happy Ed. Welcome to another AMA session. Just want to let you know that this information in this video is for informational only and does not constitute medical advice and does not establish any doctor-patient relationship. If there are any specific questions, please make sure to talk to a doctor before making any medical decisions. Thank you so much. So we're just gonna jump right into the questions. So I'm currently on a subscription plan for Topical Solution and want to see if taking the super capsule would be beneficial. If so, which one of the super capsules do you recommend, and if there's a bundle discount? So if you're currently on the Topical Happy Head, so basically the Topical Happy Head comprises of three different elements: finasteride, minoxidil, and retinoic acid, with some hydrocortisone involved. We have noticed that patients that are on a topical Happy Head and take the oral super capsule end up with better results, because at that point you're doing the topical minoxidil with finasteride along with the oral minoxidil with finasteride. The super capsule that I recommend is I would probably do the finasteride with minoxidil combination. That's the one I would start out with. Although in clinical studies, dutasteride did better compared to finasteride, but there are still some patients that may not respond to dutasteride, so I will start with the finasteride first. Is there a bundle discount? I'm not sure, but we could probably, Francesca, have a look into it. Is there a bundle discount if they do topical Happy Head with oral super capsule?
No, only bundle if it's bulk topical or bulk oral.
Okay. Just switched to topical dutasteride 3 months ago. I've noticed the year on finasteride worked better. Is it a new shedding phase or should I switch back? So look, in clinical studies, dutasteride did better than finasteride, but the problem is that there's some patients that do not respond to dutasteride. So my recommendation is that if you thought that you did better on finasteride, just switch back to finasteride. I'm going to help you do that. Please email us at help@happyed.com and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So I'm currently on a subscription plan for the minoxidil and dutasteride. It's been more than 3 months and I've noticed few hair growths. However, I didn't see any impact on the thickness of the hair. What do you suggest, or what product do you suggest for the thickness? So, to believe it or not, the product should still help the thickness. I just feel you're still a little bit early in that phase to see that. You've only been on it for 3 months, so my recommendation would be to probably be on it for a little bit longer than 6 or 7 months, and that's probably when you're going to see the improvement. If you don't see that improvement, then I would probably recommend going on the oral medication as well to see if that could add some thickness. So my recommendation right now is just be patient and just wait a few more months and see what happens. I'm getting ready to start the oral dutasteride and minoxidil super capsule. I have been using oral finasteride for years, and I would like to know if I could just switch or should I taper off the finasteride. So you could just switch over. I mean, that's really not a problem, but there are some people that do taper. It's really up to you. I don't think there's really a wrong or right way of doing it. And I mean, if you do want to taper, what I would recommend is that I would take 1 day off the finasteride, so go from 7 days to 6 days a week and add the super capsule instead of that 1 day. So that's week 1, and week 2 go from 6 days a week to 5 days a week and increase your super capsule to twice a week, so you could basically taper it on and off that way. Great question. I lost so much hair due to COVID and I have high blood pressure. Not sure which product is effective and safe for me to use without drying my hair. Thank you so much for that question. So my recommendation, first, it really depends what your age is. I'm assuming you're female, so if you're above age 50, you could basically choose the finasteride with minoxidil compound. If you're below age 50, you could do the topical minoxidil concentration. And also, when you submit your information to our dermatologist, they will also help you make that decision for you, depending if you're male, female, and your age. But definitely doing one of the topicals will help you. And if you go on the topical along with like oral minoxidil, that will help you as well. So if you do both together, oral and topical, patients typically would see better results. We see a lot of hair loss due to COVID all the time in our office. It's a very common theme. So, and doing the two together will help you get better results back. What bad side effects does your products have? Like AD had rumors, had numerous that had bad side effects. So basically, look, oral finasteride traditionally had been the number one used medication for hair loss in the US. One of the reasons why we founded Happy Head was that topical finasteride, according to clinical studies that have been out there, have lower risks of sexual side effects. So the topical, although the risk is there, it's just a lower risk of side effects. So yes, but the sexual side effects do include erectile dysfunction, testicular pain, testicular numbness, and this is why we don't necessarily recommend patients to go start with oral finasteride right away. We typically encourage patients to start with a topical Happy Head that may potentially have low risk of side effects. Also, if you do want to take oral, we do recommend basically we have oral minoxidil, which has no risk of sexual side effects at all. Now, there are some patients that still want to go on the finasteride as well, and our recommendation is to titrate up slowly, which means don't start taking the pill once a day every day. So with their super capsule, the instruction is basically start slowly. So start with taking 1 capsule a week, then you go to 2 capsules a week, and then take 3 capsules a week. So the key is that if you ease into it and go up slow, the risk of sexual side effects are going to be less. A recent podcast episode discussing hair loss points to some positive outcomes when using microneedling and minoxidil. What are your opinions on this treatment? And also, what are your opinions on various other stuff such as PRP and exosomes? So great question. So we actually do encourage using our topical Happy Head with a dermal roller. So when you get the insert, it does say that please purchase a dermal roller and use it along with it. So, and our recommendation that when you put Happy Head on, take a dermal roller like 0.25 and gently roll basically back and forth, and that will allow for better penetration of the material into the scalp. Now, with respect to other available modalities, so with respect to exosomes, I am personally not a fan of exosomes. That's just me personally. I've used exosomes for many years in my office, and I really don't think it works. PRP, I do a lot of PRP. I'm a big fan of PRP. We do PRP very differently, and in my opinion, I think it could work in about 70 to 75% of patients. And then there's stem cells, and the stem cells is mixed with PRP. It's not FDA approved, but that could also help you quite a bit as well. I actually pioneered stem cell hair research in the US back in 2016. So, but again, that's a different talk for a different discussion. Hopefully that helped. I have scalp psoriasis. Is that an issue taking your product? So, the product has minoxidil and also is based in alcohol, so something that could be a little bit irritating for your scalp psoriasis. But so if it starts to irritate you, please reach back to us, and there are ways that we can modify and customize the product for you so make it less irritating. So for example, you could start with a product that's a lower concentration of minoxidil, which is called minoxidil 6% as opposed to 8%. Also, we could take out the retinoic acid for you, so it will be less irritating. We also have what's called the Aquest based formula, which is the water-based formula, and that will reduce the irritation quite a bit as well. So start the process, see how it goes. You might be surprised, you might do perfectly fine. See how it goes. But if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Remember, Happy Head is a customizable formula. Customizable, so it will basically help you so we could help you customize the formula if they have any issues. Is there any correlation to using oral dutasteride and its risk for high-grade prostate cancer? I'm 37-year-old male and I've been using oral dutasteride, but I'm concerned that because I don't want to increase my risk of prostate cancer when I get older. So a lot of those trials, it's a great question. So this goes back almost a while. So years ago, when they did the original finasteride studies, they had not realized that the medication could reduce your risk of prostate cancer. didn't realize this. So what was happening was that they would put patient on finasteride, but they would not basically test you for prostate cancer at all. So there were some patients in that group that already had prostate cancer, and as a result, what happened was that the finasteride basically kind of delayed that detection of prostate cancer because it reduces your what's called your PSA level, so it makes your prostate cancer not detectable. So those patients that ended up with the prostate cancer basically had a higher grade prostate cancer by the time they found out. And my understanding is that is not because the medication caused you to have a higher grade prostate cancer, it's just because it masked original prostate cancer. So our recommendation is that, if you're the age like late 40s or 50s, that you should you could probably take a PSA test, or if you do take a PSA test, tell your doctor that you're on finasteride, because then they could adjust the PSA number. A very convoluted, tough question to answer. Is it safe to use laser therapy 3 times a week in addition to topical? Absolutely, you could use it and it could help you as well. Hi doctor, I just started using my 3rd bottle of formula. I have 2 questions. How long does it take before I see results? And question number 2, should I keep my hair short while using the treatment? I'm going to answer number 2 first. Keeping your hair short will actually allow you to have just better penetration of the product into your scalp. So long hair, basically you have to realize a lot of the product is going to get stuck to your hair. Keeping it short or shorter basically allows you to darkly apply the material onto your scalp. Easier, and also you can also dermal roll easier, which lead to better results. Also, how long will you take to see results? It typically takes about 3 to 6 months, so be patient. Really, we always say 6 months. Also take monthly photos. That's really important. Monthly photos are very important, because I have patients where I put on the medication, they come back 6 months later and they tell me, doc, I have not seen any improvements. And then I'll take the photo with my camera and compare it to the original photos, and they have unbelievable improvements. The thing is that you see yourself every day in the mirror, and you're not going to see that day-to-day changes. It's like basically when your wife is pregnant, you're not going to see the day-to-day changes of her tummy. So it's the same thing. So I really encourage my patients to take your photos originally and take photos on a monthly basis. Give it 6 months and then compare your 6 months photo to your baseline photos and see how you do. Thank you so much for that question. Hi doctor, I just started, here we go. I just started my 3rd bottle. Hold on 1 second. We just answered that question. Okay. I've been on the formula for 5 months. I've seen results. I only do topical. How about adding PRP as an adjunct? And what about dutasteride? Can that be added to a topical? So first of all, if you add dutasteride to the medication, you might have better results. We do have what's called the kitchen sink formula. That's finasteride and dutasteride. And patients that have switched over from using the finasteride alone by itself to the combo do say they see better results. Number 2, you could add PRP to your regimen and you will probably see better results. And number 3, you could add oral medication to your regimen. There are 3 different versions of oral. There's oral finasteride, but that carries more risk of sexual side effects. Oral minoxidil, which is a blood pressure medication, which I love. You could also get through Happy Head. So you could do the Happy Head and oral minoxidil, and you'll even see better results. And then we have the super capsule, which is the minoxidil, finasteride, and vitamin D combined together. Streamlines the whole process. We've seen amazing results with it. And if you do the topical Happy Head along with the super capsule, you will even see amazing results as well. I understand that the 2.5 milligram of dutasteride is clinically best result. However, that's not available on Happy Head. Is there a way to increase the dosage? No, it is not. Currently, we're not able to basically increase the dosage right now. We are working on coming out with our own liposomal formula for the topical dutasteride. So we're going to let you know. And with that formula, depending on how we do, we might increase the concentration. But you have to realize that sometimes when you increase the concentration, your risk of side effects does go higher. And once you've reached full hair growth with topical and reached the point of minimum return, what's the recommended maintenance routine? So the minimum maintenance would be look, instead of doing it twice a day, you could do it once a day, or you could do it once every other day. You should not stop completely, because then that will basically reverse some of the gains you've had. So you could cut it down a little bit, but you cannot completely stop. Also, there's some patients that may, at that point when they've plateaued, add the oral medication super capsule or oral minoxidil, and that may basically help you sometimes boost for better results. Thank you for that question. How often should I wash my hair? Is washing my hair often causing hair loss? So our recommendation is that you could wash your hair every day. I wash my hair every day, but I don't shampoo every day. So you could basically shampoo kind of like every other day, but you could wash it every day. I'm a female. I'm using the liquid on my hair. It is working, but it's also causing hair to grow on my sideburns, almost like the beginning of a mustache. It is dark hair and goes almost to my chin. What should I do? So that's a great question. So obviously it's a double-edged sword. You want the hair here but not here. The problem is that you're getting some of your hair on your pillow, and the pillow base is probably rubbing on your face, and that's what's causing the facial hair growth. So a couple things. So first of all, we could lower the concentration of minoxidil. That's option one. Two, you could wash out the product before you go to bed every night, so you're not getting it on your pillow and pillowcases and things like that, so less likely to get on your face. Number three, when you apply the product, definitely make sure that you're not pouring the product directly on the frontal hairline. You want to go about 2 to 3 inches above the hairline, pour the product and rub it in, because if you put it directly on the frontal hairline, it's going to get on your face. So those are my recommendations. And again, if the problem persists, definitely feel free to reach out to us, and we might have other solutions. But again, you could just easily wash the product out after like 1 hour or 2, 1 hour or 2 of the product being on your scalp, and that could basically reduce your risk of kind of spreading on your face. Do you know if anxiety medications have any impact on the result of my hair growth treatment? Typically, they shouldn't have. And I just want to say this: if you're carrying on anxiety medication, continue to take it. The reason is because we do have some patients that come into the office, and they're anxious, and that anxiety will lead to more hair loss. So and sometimes I would put patients on a Zoloft medication. So everyone's different, and they typically don't interact. And I typically do feel that bringing an anti-anxiety medication does help your hair if you have anxiety disorder. Can I take oral dutasteride and topical dutasteride at the same time? Absolutely, yes. I mean, I probably would not start them at the same time. I would probably do topical first, and then later on add the oral finasteride. And when you add oral finasteride, you want to taper up the medication. But yes, patients that do oral and topical medication, what we call sandwiching, it do get better results. So if you're on topical Happy-Head and add the oral super capsule or oral minoxidil, you will see better results. Again, the trend in our office right now, what we're seeing and what we're doing, and again, realize that we have a very active hair restoration practice in West Los Angeles, California. I mean, we have patients that fly all from around the world, and we really try to be like the leaders in hair. And we a lot of times set some of the trends in the industry. And this trend that we're setting right now is that a lot of people go on the topical Happy-Head and go on the oral minoxidil and oral finasteride together, and those patients see the most amazing results. One more question: when using your product, do I have to wash it off right away, or can I leave it until the next day? I'm happy to say that since I've been using the product, I've had no side effects of any kind, not even on my scalp, and no irritation. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. So this is how Happy-Head works. Happy-Head is applied twice a day, every day, morning as well as at night. Now, there's some patients who can have some irritation. So our recommendation is that if you have no side effects, you could leave the product all night. If you do have side effects, typically irritation or redness on the scalp, you could wash the product out after 1 or 2 hours. Just put on the product at 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, wash it out. You're still gonna get to see 80 to 90% of all the benefits, but without a lot of the irritation of leaving the products on overnight. Is it okay to use rosemary oil in shampoo while using topical Happy-Head? Yeah, absolutely. In a clinical study of rosemary oil applied to the scalp, it was as effective minoxidil 2%. Now, that's not much, minoxidil 2%, but rosemary oil that help, and also it could help reduce some of the irritation from the topical product. Out of curiosity, is the risk of gynecomastia the same with dutasteride as with finasteride? That's a great question. I don't know the numbers off of my hand, but I think the answer is yes. Also, the risk of gynecomastia is honestly very low. First of all, what is gynecomastia? Gynecomastia means basically enlarged breast when using finasteride or dutasteride. in males. So it could happen, but it's on a lower risk, but it could definitely happen. But I don't know the comparison between finasteride and dutasteride. I'm going to go back. When you read the clinical studies of dutasteride compared to finasteride, I don't recall any studies actually mentioning that, so that's why I don't remember. I responded okay to the topical Happy original formula, but not amazingly. I'm seeing slight side effects after a year of use, but not terrible. Will switching to dutasteride have more side effects on my systemic DHT and make the side effects worse? Yes, it is possible. Dutasteride has a longer half-life, so if you have some side effects on finasteride, I would probably not switch to dutasteride. What my recommendation would be is, if you are having some side effects to finasteride, ask Happy to lower some of that concentration of finasteride to lower dose. But to make up for it, I would probably recommend to go on oral minoxidil. Oral minoxidil has no risk of sexual side effects, and there's like ED, erectile dysfunction, testicular pain or numbness, and also there are no risk of anxiety or depression. So I will lower the concentration of topical finasteride, and I will add oral minoxidil to your regimen. What's better, super capsule or topical dutasteride? That's a great question. I mean, obviously, studies have not been done. Topical dutasteride, it combines dutasteride with minoxidil and retinoic acid. Supercapsule is oral dutasteride and oral minoxidil. It's possible that the oral medication supercapsule might be better, but at the same time, oral may have slightly more risk of side effects. So you have to basically, just evaluate the risk and benefits. Hi, doctor. When can someone stop using Happy Head? Topical drops. Well, the problem with any topical or oral formula for hair loss is that the minute you stop, basically your body is going to start decaying some of that hair growth. So with a lot of these medications, not just ours, I mean any other company out there, once program. So once you achieve basically your best hair growth, some patients could go down to maybe using it 3 or 4 times a week as opposed to every day. But if you stop completely, then the results will be diminished, unfortunately. How will dutasteride affect my estrogen and testosterone level? So dutasteride is what's called a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, which means that testosterone gets converted to testosterone. The testosterone gets converted to DHT, and DHT that causes miniaturization of the hair follicles. So dutasteride, especially oral dutasteride, could affect your overall total testosterone level, and that's where you might have some of the sexual side effects. And this is why we recommend topical first, because since it's topical and doesn't get systemically absorbed, it may have lower risk of systemic sexual side effects. Do the side effects of dutasteride last longer than finasteride? Yes. Finasteride half-life, which means how long it takes for the body to decay the finasteride, I think is 6 hours. So within a 24-hour period, you're basically decaying or getting rid of about 80% of that finasteride. With dutasteride, I think that the half-life is 5 weeks. So to get rid of that 80% from out of your system, it could take months really to get rid of that. So yes, and so this is why we typically encourage finasteride over dutasteride initially, because of the potential, because of the long-term risks associated with some of the dutasteride products. Does taking supplements like creatine or doing testosterone replacement therapy affect treatment? Any suggestions? Great question. So testosterones, creatines, whey protein isolates basically will increase your testosterone level, and as a result increase your DHT in your system, thus causing more hair loss and more miniaturization. So our recommendation is that if you're doing creatine, please stop. Creatine is very, very bad. It's one of those things that honestly we discourage our patients from taking it. Do not do creatine. If you're doing testosterone therapy, look, if you need the testosterone, you need the testosterone. But what we do recommend is that doing the topical Happy Head may kind of counteract some of the bad side effects of testosterone replacement therapy. Hello, can diet help regrow hair? No, that's a very good question, and the answer is yes. So yesterday, actually, I saw a patient who I think she was about 110 pounds, vegetarian, She was losing a lot of hair. She had done her labs and she brought it to me. Her vitamin D was very low, was 9 or 10, and her ferritin, which is iron level, was extremely low as well. So in her case, there are two things you could do. You could say, okay, you're gonna go on medication, but that is typically not the right treatment approach, because putting someone on a medication right away without fixing some of the fundamental problems is not going to help you. That person basically just needs more protein. So what I told her was that I want her to go on a more higher protein diet. So eating more cashews, avocados, those are very important. Supplementing with whey protein concentrate, not whey protein isolate, but whey protein concentrate is very important as well. So you have whey protein concentrate, add collagen to your diet. I usually like the Vital Proteins collagen from Whole Foods. So you have Vital Proteins, whey protein concentrate, add iron and also vitamin D to your diet. If you're a guy, we typically don't recommend iron. If you're female, we definitely recommend both iron and vitamin D. And so I did not start on any medication, surprisingly. We only did a change in diet. I'm going to see her back in 3 to 4 months and see how she does. And believe it or not, a lot of those patients will do well. At least you prep them, you're fixing the foundation. Then when you do put them on some topical medication or oral medication, they're going to respond better to it. Because if you're missing that fundamental healthy diet, and so you're eating like a lot of junk and like, you know, processed foods and whey protein isolates and creatine and doing testosterones, and eating a lot of chips and sodas and things like that, you don't have a very good diet, which means adding medication will help you, but not necessarily to that great extent. But fix your diet first and then adding some of the medication to your regimen, you're going to have the best results. Thank you for that question. I just started taking a couple of months now. I can already see some hair growth. Yeah, that are darker than usual baby hairs. Is it okay to shave my head? Yeah, of course you shave your head. Shave your head, continue doing the topical, apply the medication. But shaving your hair doesn't really cause more hair growth. If you want to do it, you could do it. You don't necessarily have to do it. Thoughts on ketoconazole 2% shampoo? Will Happy Head offer in the future? Yes. I think Happy Head does offer the ketoconazole 2%.
Not released yet.
Not released yet. We should have it soon. We should have it soon. I mean, it's a standard product, but in the market, we should have it soon. Look, I like ketoconazole 2%. I think according to clinical studies, the 2% ketoconazole was equivalent to topical minoxidil 2%. So it does help a little bit. Is it a game changer? I don't think so, but it does help. I'm using both oral and topical, seeing results and no side effect. Thank you. Another happy patient. This is what we're all about. Making our patients happy. Happy hair. That's why we call it Happy Head. It's the happiness that we love. Does topical finasteride only work in areas that's applied, or is it absorbed in such a way that it's like taking the pill? No, it's really mainly works in areas that you apply it. If not, wouldn't it be more effective to do both? Yes, and there are some patients that do both. So let's say if you're doing topical Happy Head and you do the oral finasteride, you will see better results. Now, even if you do the oral super capsule, you're even going to see even better results than that, because the super capsule contains finasteride, minoxidil, and vitamin D all combined together. I am happy using Happy Head with finasteride and finasteride. I'm thinking of going with PRP, but I'm concerned with the massive shed. Will Happy Head help or hurt the shed, or should I stay on it if I do PRP? So in my personal office, where I do a lot of PRPs, 2 or 3 every day, I actually put everyone on Happy Head right afterwards. So, and encourage patients to start Happy Head before. So if you're going to do PRP, definitely do it. That will probably do some of the shedding from PRP. The shed from PRP is actually rare. It's less than 5% of patients. And if you do get a shed, you're actually going to end up with better results. So dutasteride worked much better for me as a woman. I'm wondering if my son, who is in mid-20s, can take dutasteride. He has diffuse hair loss. Yes, your son could take dutasteride. If you go on our product page, you could subscribe for dutasteride. As long as it's not like 16 or 15, Okay, I have missed the response. I'm taking dutasteride mix now. I have a laser head to promote hair growth. Is that safe and effective? Yes. You could use the laser head along with the topical dutasteride, no problem, and it could help you. Is it that the existing hairs actually thicken up over time, or do new thicker hairs grow back in place, or is it a combination of both? So this is what happens. See, Once you lose your hair, that hair is completely lost. So for example, patients that have widow's peaks, and those widow's peaks areas, the hair have been lost completely, and those hairs will never come back. The truth of the matter is that hairs miniaturize with time. So hairs start out and they're this thick, and they get thinner and thinner and thinner. And then once you pass beyond a certain point, those hairs will never come back anymore. So this is why it's so important to start your treatments earlier, kind of like proactively, as you feel you're shedding, as you're thinning, because you don't want to wait if you wait too much, then you're going to pass beyond that point of no return, and nothing's going to work except for transplant. So as soon as you feel the thinning, that's when you want to get started. So the answer is that no product out there will basically allow you to sprout new hairs. I mean, unless you do hair transplant. All these products take your hair that have miniaturized and reverse that miniaturization. That means you're gonna thicken up that hair. So when patients go from basically very thin hair where you can see their scalp and all of a sudden it's much thicker, you're just reversing that miniaturization. You're just thickening it up. This is also true when you do PRP or stem cells. You're just thickening up that miniaturized fine hair basically, but you're not growing new hair. Alright guys, thank you so much for a great AMA session. Thank you for joining me. We should have another AMA soon. Again, please be aware that all this is for information only. This does not establish any patient-doctor relationship. For any individual questions, please, you could actually reach out to your doctors at Happy or your own personal doctor who has a personal relationship with you guys. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at help@happyhead.com. We also encourage some of our patients to just leave us a review on Facebook or Trustpilot. We really appreciate it. It is without you guys, Happy Head would not exist, and without reviews, basically, it's hard for us to share the love and our education to other people. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful